Hi friends, I'm Mr. Y, the science guy, and today we're going to do a science project that you can easily do at home. We're going to see what items would sink or what items would float. Now, you might ask yourself, why does an item sink to the bottom when you place it in water? Well, the reason that something would sink versus floating has a lot to do with density. Now, you might be wondering, what is density? Well, let me tell you. Density refers to how compact an item or a substance is. So, how close together the matter that makes up this item is inside of it. So, we could show you that by using a piece of paper. Right now, this piece of paper isn't that dense. It's not that close together. But if I squeeze it really hard, now make it into a ball. Now this piece of paper is more dense. It's more compact. I can show you that also with some Play-Doh. And you can do this at home if you have Play-Doh. I just have some Play-Doh loosely stuck together, but if I want to make this Play-Doh more compact, more dense, all you gotta do is squeeze it. There we go. Now I have a nice, compact, dense piece of Play-Doh. Okay. So you can do this experiment at home. I have a nice fish tank here, so you can see all the items we're going to put in easily. But you can do this at home with a big container or anything that you have that you put lots of water in. And then just find some objects around your house that you want to test out. I have some objects here that we're going to test out. But first, an answer that you might get from children when you ask them, well, why does something sink? They might say, well, it's because something sinks because it's really big. Well, but not all big things sink. Imagine a big boat on the ocean. But a boat does not sink. And why does a boat not sink? It's so big and heavy. Why would a boat not sink? Well, I want to show you why a boat wouldn't sink. It has to do with something called water displacement. And I'm going to show you with this basketball. I have a big bowl over here. It's filled just about to the top with water. And when I place this basketball in the bowl, the water level is going to rise to make room for the basketball to go into the water. So as the water level rises, the water is going to come out of this bowl, and that's the amount of water that this basketball displaces. So, if the amount of water that something displaces weighs more than the actual object, it floats. So a ship, a big boat, displaces a lot of water. More water, the amount of water weighs more than the boat itself. So the boat is able to float. But watch what happens when I put this basketball into this bowl of water. The water level is going to rise and it's going to come out of this bowl. Oh, and we're making a mess, but that's okay. We make messes in science. But did you see that? The water needed to make room for the basketball to go into it. So the water level rose. The same thing happens when you take a bath. When you enter the bath, the water level of the bathtub rises up. All right, so let's test out some of these objects that we have here. First thing we're going to test out is this ball. This is just a plastic ball filled with air. Now, let's see what happens when we place it in the water. Oh, it floats, sits right on top of the water. The reason this floats is it is less dense than the water. This is filled with air. air is really light. So this ball is a lot less dense than the water, a lot less light, so it floats right on top. We're going to place these items in these trays. Put this one over here. See, we have float and sink. So we're going to place the items in the right tray. So this ball floated, so we're going to place it right over here. All right. Before we do the next one, I'm going to ask you guys. This is a rock. I just found this rock outside. What do you think is going to happen to the rock? The rock is pretty heavy. What do you think? Let's find out. Whoa! The rock went straight to the bottom. A rock is really dense. So it's a lot heavier than the water. It sinks right to the bottom. It's a good idea to have a towel on hand when you're doing this, because you are going to get a little wet. Okay. Let's see. This is a potato. We're not going to eat this potato though. We're going to see if it sinks or floats. It's pretty heavy. Not quite as heavy as that rock that I have, but let's find out. What do you guys think? Is it going to sink or float? Whoa! That potato sinks. A potato is a really dense vegetable, full of carbohydrates. That's why a potato really fills you up when you eat it. It's really dense, so it fills up your stomach. So we're going to put that one right over there in our sink pile. Now, I want to do an orange. What do you think is going to happen? Let's see. At first it went down to the bottom, but it floats back up to the top of the water. But now I have an orange here that I peeled. What do you think? Is it going to be the same as the orange that we have there that's unpeeled? Let's find out. Whoa! A peeled orange sinks to the bottom, while an unpeeled orange floats. Why does that happen? Well, the skin of an orange actually has little air pockets in it. So the air pockets in here make it so the orange is less dense than the water. So it's able to float. But when you peel off the skin, those air pockets aren't there anymore. So the orange sinks. Pretty cool, huh? Put that one there. And our peeled orange here. Ooh. Here's another fruit. You guys know what fruit this is? You got it. It's an apple. Let's see what happens to an apple. Sink or float? What do you think? Whoa. Yes. An apple is not as dense as the water. The fruit has a little air in it. You'll notice that if you would bite into an apple, there is a little bit of air in the fruit. So that air makes it so it floats right in the water. All right. Now I'm going to do these at the same time. Sometimes you might think if something's bigger, it weighs more, and it's going to sink to the bottom. Well, this is a golf ball, and this is a baseball. The golf ball, smaller than the baseball. But let's see what happens when we put these in the water. Will they both float? Will they both sink? Well, let's find out. Oh, look at that. The smaller one, the golf ball, sinks, while the bigger one, the baseball, floats. So, size is not a determining factor in why something sinks or floats. Over there. All right, I have one more thing here I want to show you. This is, you guys know what coin this is? It's a quarter worth 25 cents. What do you think? Sink or float? Let's see. Whoo! Did you see that one? It went really quick to the bottom. Okay. We have lots of items that sank, and we have lots of items that floated. But I have one more thing I want to show you here. And this is just a piece of styrofoam. It's going to float. And this ball is going to float as well. They both have air in them. Watch, I'm going to hold them down at the bottom of this tank. And watch as they come up to the water. Watch which one goes quicker. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, which one went quicker? Let's do that one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The ball shoots up quick, but this piece of styrofoam takes a little while to get to the top. Well, that's because this ball is shaped in a circle, so it can cut right through that water to the top. And it has a big air pocket right here, so there's a lot of force that's pushing its way up to the top of the water. This styrofoam has a big area here, so it kind of has to fight against the water on the way up. You see that? It has to push that water out of the way, all the way to the water that's on the surface of this styrofoam. All right. Well, you guys can try other items you find at your house. Were there any items here that surprised you? Well, hope you had fun. I'll see you next time when we do science again. This is Mr. Wyatt, the Science Guy. Bye-bye.